I'm your host, Mr. Monster Man Rocco. I'm actually the host. I'm your tour guide, president, and the king around here. I'm the landlord, owner, tenant, janitor. I'm Amsterdam floor. Hold on. Let me get my Knicks hat in the shot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I had another hat I was going. Anyway, never mind. Yo, so you see the thumbnail, right? Comedians are crashing out. And people too. Not just comedians, but like, just civilians. They don't like the things that were said at the Kevin Hart roast. Some of the jokes, well, not specifically, it was racist. They feel like it was racist. It was a little bit too much racism going on, and I, as usual, I'm Zen master, Zen god, Zen lord. I I work really hard. I do a pretty good job at not letting things that were meant to destroy my peace, right? So I don't feel no way about it, but I do have some thoughts. When I was first asked about it, somebody asked me in my personal life. I'm like, I don't know. I was asking my, because I watched the roast a couple of nights ago. A couple of parts I missed, but I watched most of it, and I was like, I did, like I did feel a little bit of the racism and all of that. I felt a hint. I felt a little bit of my racism radar be up high. My radar, it be up high, so I could always sense it. But also before I watched the roast, I seen some content around it, around the algorithm talking about how people felt about it. So I it may have affected how I watched it, how I listened to it, how I viewed it. You know what I mean? It may have painted a color of it may have heightened my radar even my racism radar even more. You know what I'm saying? It may have. I don't know. But so like at the end of watching that, at the end of watching it or at the end of thinking about it, I still didn't have a really fixed opinion on it. It was like, yeah, I mean, I get what people talking about, but it is what it is. Kevin Hart, he fought back with like, he's like, listen, this is exactly what a roast is supposed to be. It's supposed to be as disrespectful as possible. You're supposed to go all the way to the limit, and if ain't nobody pissed off, then then you ain't roast good enough. You know what I'm saying? You ain't do your job. So you have some comedians I've been seeing that seem to support that theory. You know what I mean? But I think it is worthy to note that the comedians that I have seen supporting that theory were comedians that were in the building that night. You know what I mean? Now, the other comedians were that's something different. I've seen a lot of opinions, but one of the opinions that hit me the hardest was from Jesus. Y'all know Jesus. Jesus Nice. He used to run with the kid Miro, Jesus and Miro. Right? Diesel said something very eye opening to me. He was like, he said he watched and listened to all of the jokes, and then he went and looked up who wrote the jokes. And when he saw that all of the writers of the jokes, there were very few black people. There were, like predominantly, like he gave me the impression that they were heavily predominantly white. And he said, and then I go back. He said, you listen to the jokes, then you go read and see who the writers are of the jokes. Then you go listen to the jokes again. Kind of changes things, or kind of has an effect on things. And that was eye opening to me. You know what else made me some other things that stood out to me. That Kevin Hart, it was said, it's alleged that Kevin Hart had a clause in, because he invited all of these comedians, so on and forth, so on and so forth. Because all of like The Rock ain't a comedian, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, he invited all these people personally. He said, but there were some things that were off limits, which were like his kids. I believe it was his children. I don't, was his wife, because I heard that because they was talking about his wife. I mean, they wasn't saying nothing disrespectful about her, right? But he definitely said that. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying he definitely. That's definitely alleged that he he had that clause. Not my kids, and possibly not my woman, right? So where's the no holds barred philosophy when it comes to that? You understand what I'm saying? Also, I don't remember who said this, but they pointed out the fact that, now I think it might have been Little Rail. I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of comedians that they state their opinion on this, and it was like, yo, niggas was able to boo Draymond Green every time. Every time they said Draymond Green name, they booed. I'm not even sure why. Does anybody know why? Just because he's a villain on the basketball court? What did Draymond Green do to get him booed every time they mentioned his name? I don't get it. I don't understand. But here's the thing, right? So what's the white comedian's name? Somebody put it in the somebody put it in the white dude that they really mad at. The one who made the joke about George Floyd. What's his name? Tony something? Let me see. I'm mad that I don't remember his name right now, but he wasn't never important to me before this, so I didn't know his name. But they talking like he's always racist in his comedy, like the way they was framing it and all of that. Tony, thank you, Dread Rastafari, Hinchcliffe, right? He made a joke about George Floyd, right? And everybody's like, "Hey, it's the roast. No, if you didn't, if you're not offended, then go for it enough." How come nobody said the N word? Well, how come nobody non? How come nobody white? The black. If I'm not mistaken, some of the black people said nigga a couple of times. How come nobody white said the N word? Hard, or A. How come nobody said it? How come they all, including Tony Hinchcliffe, he knew that it was cool with his joke to say ninja. Everybody knows that it's fun. It's funny. It's funny when you walk all the way up to the edge or whatever. Everybody thinks that's funny, and then you say it. Well, I guess it is funny to some people. It's not particularly funny to me. You understand? Because that just says to me that you want to say it. You want to say it. You want to say it. It's all good. You know what I mean? But yeah. So, I could think of some jokes where the word, where the N word wouldn't take out the funny. It wouldn't remove the funny. It wouldn't hurt the funny. Sometimes the N word actually helps the funny. But nobody white's gonna do that. Nobody white did that. So y'all do know better. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like those things are interesting. I only seen the roast of a black person one other time, and that was when they was roasting Flavor Flav. And I remember Cat Williams being there too. Salute to Cat Williams and Kevin Hart for squashing their beef and all of that. But I remember Cat Williams saying, like, I think like he did a special after the Flavor Flav roast. And my screen blurry again. I'm gonna go back to doing some edited videos and all of that, because I don't know what's going on with the whole. I don't like compromising my clarity. But yeah, what Cat Williams was talking about when he was part of the Flavor Flav roast, he was all he was talking about was how uncomfortable he was calling Flavor Flav all kind of crispity, crackly, crunchity coons. Because he didn't write, it's all the stuff that's coming up across the teleprompter. He ain't write this. You understand what I'm saying? So every other line was calling Flavor crispity, crackety coon. That's my Cat Williams impersonation. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't like it. He said he went backstage. He was pissed all the way off. He said he wanted to knock, he wanted to break, he wanted to tear that dressing room up. But he could only, he wasn't trying to waste no money, so he was only trying to break things that he could afford to replace. So he in the background knocking over all the paper towels and the cups, plastic cups and all of that. This is what he said. I remember this from memory. I didn't have to research or search back for that. I remember that. You understand what I'm saying? Like people like, yo, why we they be wanting to they hate not being able to do something. You understand? They all want to say the N word, so I don't want to say all, but a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? It's like why everybody can listen, you say it all the time. Yeah, you get loans from banks too, and we can't do that. Listen, we all got some things we can't do. We all got some things we can't do. Men can't do everything women do. Women can't do everything men do. Black people can't do everything now, even though we may be physically capable of, even though the physical capabilities may line, but no, it's double standards out there. You think y'all not supposed to have none? And aside from all of that, that's just the N word. George Floyd's unaliving ain't never gonna be funny to people who know him, or not even to people who know him, to nobody black. Not nobody real black. Not nobody from the culture. You can't. I mean, maybe I'm saying just maybe somebody from inside the culture could say something. Uh, Maybe somebody from inside the culture can make a joke if it's not disrespectful. Somebody from inside the culture might know how to do that. Might be crafty enough to make a joke about George Floyd without it being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, y'all. Y'all slacking. And salute to whoever that was that hit me with the that paid their taxes, tax-paying citizens to the Monster Nation. iFlow593. Salute to you. Appreciate your donation. But yeah, get the likes up, y'all. They say that kind of stuff is important. I don't be harping on that because I just come on here and talk my talk to y'all. But yeah, hit the like button, y'all. It's important. It helps. It helps the page grow. They say. But what I'm saying is like maybe somebody black and truly talented enough with the comedic arts, gifted enough in the arts of the comedy of comedy, maybe they could formulate a joke about involving George Floyd and it not be so offensive. Maybe. You understand what I'm saying? But you can't be outside the culture. You can't be from outside the culture just doing that. You can't. Or you can, but there will be consequences. Whether they're severe or not remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? But every action has a reaction. You cannot, your freedom of speech does not exempt you from your action having a reaction, i.e., consequences. And I don't know if y'all can hear the going on outside, but it's going on outside. So I'm gonna get up on out of here. Let me check one of these messages that's being held for review right quick. Let me see. I don't know. It looks like um it looks like it could be disrespectful. So I don't know. Making money. If you're trying to be, if you want smoke, say it with your chest. Cause I don't know who Kit Kat is. Say it with your chest. Oh, that's not smoke you want? You love me? I appreciate it. I love you too. It looked like you was, I don't know. It looked like, anyway, I apologize. I know I said that wrong. But, yeah, so, oh, Mecca. What it look like, Mac? So, yeah, how you been? You good? All right, let me get back on track. So, because I got to get out of here soon. So, yeah, like it ain't cool. Um, or was somebody in the comments talking crazy? Just let me know. I block them. I'm quick with the block trigger. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I should make you a moderator so you could get these niggas up out of here. What was I saying? I forgot now. Yeah, it ain't never cool, B. It ain't. It just ain't. You know what I mean? Like somebody, I know y'all heard about Chud the Builder, right? Y'all know who that is? So it's a legendary racist, but he's not legendary. He's a racist. He's been running around streaming, making content for the past, I don't know, however long, months or years or whatever. Things have come to a head, and he's in jail now. You know what I'm saying? Somebody wasn't having a smoke. They put the Ming Mouths on him. He walking around disrespecting black folks, but he got a slammer on him, right? So he be disrespecting the black folk and getting away with it a lot, but everybody ain't gonna play your game. Something got out of hand. Some shots was fired. He shot somebody. He also cheddar bobbed himself, and he's locked up right now. And it's having a bad week. Anyway, yeah, it ain't gonna never be cool. Don't quit playing with people because everybody ain't playing with you. You know what I'm saying? And you won't run around and make jokes about George Floyd like that man ain't got no family. Like, I don't know who you are, Tony Hinchcliffe. That probably means you ain't that big a celebrity. I could be dead wrong about this, but what I'm suggesting is you probably go to do you go to the supermarket by yourself? You understand what I'm saying? You don't strike me as the type of person who got 24-hour security. You could go to the Walmart, Target, or whichever the most racist establishment is, whoever's cornering the market in racism right now. You could be in that spot and get punched on. You understand what I'm saying? Sunset, I've seen pictures, I've seen footage of UFOs clearer than this. I'm sorry. My bad. But I'm out. Since I don't, like I said, my connection is failing. See if I could, I guess it don't make much time, it don't make much sense now to try to clean it up, but it's quite a few in y'all here for my connection to be bad. I appreciate all of y'all who stuck it out, who came in and heard out and heard out my point of view. But I'm about to be out. I'm not trying to fight with the connection. Audio is good. Thank you. Maybe I'll do another. I'll do a video with just like a picture and the audio, like one of the other streamers. Put it up later. Rock on, rock on. That's all, y'all. You made it to the end of this video. I extra appreciate you because, especially with the quality of the video. Let me get 4 microphones. Rock on, rock going. My next video will be clearer. Rock on.